How's it going, guys? Happy Thursday, almost Friday. This is Kyle with Third Monkey Enterprises. Um, and I was just going to go over a little catalog of a uh, it looks like all Glocks I got here. Just to kind of go over what we do, um, what we provide, and what our work looks like. So the first one I got here is this is my personal gun. It's my workhorse. I carry it with me every day. It is a Glock 22 that I converted to 9mm with a Lone Wolf threaded barrel. It's got a X300U on it and one of my frame packages here, as you can see. It's fully wrapped, which includes the recessed borders. It's got a primary undercut. Which is this here. That's for Glock knuckle. It gets beveled on the sides for comfortability, so it doesn't rub your middle finger raw, and it also gets higher up into the bore axis. Then you got your support hand undercut, which is also supposed to help you get higher to the bore axis, but it's really just an indexing point to help you get the same consistent grip. And then instead of having this rounded like comes on the Timberwolf frames, I just angled it off, and that's just for looks. I also added some index points here. You can see, sorry, my camera's not great, but I absolutely love this thing. We are going to actually create a third monkey build. We're gonna call it the banana build. And it's gonna basically be everything this thing has. It's gonna be the Timberwolf frame. It's gonna have a Glock performance trigger in it. It's gonna get Trigicon optic height sights. It's gonna get a threaded barrel. It's gonna get the same frame package. And then we are working on getting a slide package designed. It's not going to be anything crazy. It's not going to be a Star Wars gun. There's not going to be any windows in it. We're just going to add some chamfering to the top corners here. We're going to do some front slide serrations. And maybe couple little inlays just to kind of make it ours, and so you can notice that it's ours and it'll be our own design. We may actually use another slide from someone else for a little while for the builds, just while I'm getting ours designed. So look out for those on the website here in the next few months. They're a great gun. It's basically everything in them is Glock. The frame isn't Glock. And I'm trying to decide what barrel I want to use, but I'm most likely going to use an OEM Glock threaded barrel for them, just to keep everything Glock. The trigger, it's a Glock performance trigger. It's kind of the same same mechanism as the Timney Alpha 5, except I believe it's got more of a wall, so you get to a wall and then it breaks nice and crisp, and then it's got a very positive reset, which is one of the complaints about the Timney Alpha 5. So we are going to use the Glock performance trigger in our banana builds. So that's the first one I'm talking about here. We do provide Cerakote and hydro dipping for builds on the site. When you go to shop on the website and build your own frame package, there's a couple boxes there where you can check to get your slide Cerakoted or hydro dipped, or your frame Cerakoted and hydro dipped, and then you can put in the notes what color you want. You can get it two-toned like this one. Sorry, the light sucks here. Let's do this. I'm gonna adjust this camera here out and scoot back some and try and be in the light a little better here. Not much better, but as you can see, this one's two-tone. This is OD green with black duty texturing. Again, it's full wrap texturing, so you get the nice recessed border all the way around. It's got the glove bevel, primary, secondary undercuts, and index points, and a D-horn trigger guard. We do these for a shop in town called Hardline Custom, and this is kind of their design that we do. That's why we D-horn the trigger guard for him, and we don't texture in the support hand undercut. And that's kind of like the Hardline Custom package that we do for them. It's a great little package. This one was obviously hydro dipped on the slide in the magwell with woodland camo. It has an optic cut with a plate, and it has a Carver Custom magwell. He's also here in the Jacksonville area. Awesome guy, great shooter. He builds phenomenal race guns and has some really good parts. So check him out, Carver Custom. And this is a Glock 21, so it's a 45 ACP. So, and we have an Overwatch trigger shoe and trigger bar in it. So yeah, this is also a great little build for if you go out hunting or anything like that and want to take a sidearm with a larger caliber pistol with you. The next one we got is a Glock 43X. The slide has been Cerakoted in OD green. And then this one's a lot more simple. Just got the full wrap texturing. This one is in our carry texture, kind of like a dog bone shape arranged, kind of like how bricks are laid. The tang is smoothed and polished, and it's got just a primary undercut. This is actually my girlfriend's pistol that she got, and this is this kind of forest green, she calls it, is her favorite color. So that's what we did on this one. Our philosophy here is the grip from the texture should come from the texture itself. It shouldn't come from just how sharp the surface is. Some of these textures, like these micro dots and higher lines per inch waffle textures, they just rely on the surface being sharp when they're done. But then after 5, 6, 7, 800 rounds, that sharpness is worn down, and you're not really getting much grip. When we do our texture like this, we actually sand the sharpness off, and then we torch the outside and actually slightly remelt the surface. That hardens the surface again, to make it very durable, and it also makes it where it's not gonna chafe your skin if you do need to conceal carry it. and it's not gonna like grab or snag or tear at your clothing either. But as you can see, that pattern is deep and large. So what happens is your skin, when you grab it, really fills the pattern, and that's where the purchase of your grip comes from. Let's see if I can kind of, you probably can't really see it. You can see it a little bit on my fingers there, but you can see where my skin is filling in that pattern, and that's where true grip comes from, not just from some surface sharpness that's gonna last maybe a week. And this is the last one I wanted to show you guys because this has quite a bit done to it. You can see it's got the full wrap again. The full wrap, when we do full wrap, it includes all the prep work. It includes the tang. You can see the tang is nicely polished because where we run our border, especially on Gen 4s, you'd still have the back strap line coming up. So we re-profile this tang. We taper it. So instead of being like that, it's like that. So we actually taper it in like that. We deepen it a little bit. So we deepen it that way a little bit, and then we heighten it because a tang typically has a little bit of like a rounded drop that starts to come back down, and we take that little rounded area off and just heighten the entire thing, and then we put a nice polish and shine to it, and that makes it very comfortable up there to not chafe and irritate this webbing of your hand that doesn't do a whole lot in maintaining grip and purchase of a firearm. That all comes from mainly the front strap and the back strap of squeezing toward your fingers, squeezing toward your palm. And that is a good transition. That's why this one has our hump enhancement, or most people call it Razorback. Bennett Boresight Solutions came up with this. It was he modeled it after the Browning High Power, and there's some other guns that were profiled like this ever before the Razorback was a thing, but it was a very good and innovative idea to do it for a Glock, since so many people like Glocks. And what it does is this crease in your hand right there, that little hump fits very nicely in the crease of that hand and locks in kind of like a ball and socket, almost like your hip, how the ball of your leg fits into the socket of your hip. That's kind of what's happening here. This little ball is fitting into the socket of your palm and really locks it in. When I would compete in little weekend comps, I would have trouble milking, where I'd shoot and then I'd milk and then shoot and then I'd milk because I was readjusting my grip. And ever since I did the Razorback, I don't milk anymore. It's so locked in. I can just go from target to target to target, even when my hands are sweaty. No problem. No more milking. So this one also has the glove bevel, as you can see here. On this side, this would be the right side of the gun. It's reversed for you guys. But that is so your finger does not run down the corner of the frame as you are pulling the trigger. Some guys have large fat fingers and it runs down this corner of the frame there. So we bevel this away and here to get that out of the way. And it even helps people with smaller hands because you're basically shortening the distance your finger has to go to the trigger, so you don't have to reach as far because you don't have to go around this material. You have more of a straight shot at the trigger. We do it on the other side. just to be even and look good. But there's nothing really happening on the other side. It's basically just so it can a right or left-handed shooter does get to utilize that advantage. In conjunction with that, it has the lower trigger guard cut out. So sorry, I keep having to get to the light so you can see where these cuts are. But we cut material out, enlarging the trigger guard, and instead of enlarging it circularly, we enlarge it squarely, just because a square, you're gonna end up with more more area inside the trigger than just a circular radius being cut out in the front. Just simple geometry for you guys out there. This one does not have the support hand undercut, but as you can see, it does have the texture on the bottom that is bordered as well. Finger grooves have been removed. Everything has a nice shiny polish to it. And index points again. So if you can see them there. I'm sorry, I'm gotta get a new camera here. We just got a mill that I've been using and tuning in and doing some stuff with. So things like this will be done with a mill. So we'll go in here and it'll be perfectly square on the inside. Then we're gonna do the undercut. So it'll have a big ball end mill that runs across like that, creating the proper profile, and each frame will be the exact same. And then we'll turn it and we will use a mill to do the support hand undercuts. And we are probably gonna, doesn't really have any function, but just to make it look nice, we're gonna do some corner chamfering here on the trigger guards. So I've done a couple. They look pretty good, but I gotta get a deeper vise, and I'm gonna get a better jig that holds the frames. So once I get that dialed in and those cuts are up to my standard, I'll do a full package, doing it with the mill, and then doing my hand done recessed borders, and put a package together and create a video showing if you correctly and proportionally use the mill and hand done work, the kind of robust, rugged, durable work you can get out of doing that. So I'm really excited to do a full build with the mill being dialed in and tuned in exactly where I want it, to show you guys, because I think it's going to be pretty impressive. And I'm really excited to start getting the third monkey banana builds done for you guys. I love those Timberwolf frames. They got such a good grip angle. They present like a 1911. Your front sight is down just a couple degrees. It's not like a Glock where you're having to break down like that. And I just think once we start doing these full banana builds, they're gonna be really, really nice. So I appreciate you guys hanging around with me for almost 20 minutes, it looks like, and listening to me and going over what we got. Check out us on Instagram at Third Monkey ENT_LLC, everything spelled out, and our website www.thirdmonkey thirdmonkeyeent.com. That's thirdmonkeyeent.com. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.